They say a child may forget the sound of the womb, but a mother never forgets the sound of her child's first cry. That sound, it marks the beginning of a journey only God truly understands. I remember the night you were born as if it were carved into my bones, rain falling like drums of heaven, thunder in the distance, and me screaming not in pain, but in prayer. The midwife held you up to the flickering lantern and said, "It's a boy." And I remember you were so small, eyes shut tight, fists curled like you had already come ready to fight life. I wrapped you in my old wrapper, the one with the faded green and orange patterns, and held you against my chest. That night, I didn't sleep. I just watched you breathe, and I whispered promises you couldn't hear, promises to protect you, raise you strong. I named you Obina, Father's heart, because even though your father had gone quiet in the spirit world, I wanted his strength to live through you. Grew up fast like maize after good rain. By 3, you could call me Mama, with such sweetness that I sometimes cried alone. Run barefoot in the red dust, chasing chickens, shouting at goats, laughing. I didn't know it then, but you were my healing. When the world mocked me for being alone, when neighbors whispered about my struggles, I just watched you sleep, and everything felt worth it. I carried you on my back to the market, tied in the same faded wrapper, sweat dripping from my face while I bargained over tomatoes and dried fish. Remember you humming behind me, your small hands gripping my sides, like saying, "I'm here, Mama." You were, always, until you weren't. When you turned 10, I saw the shift. No longer searched for me the way they used to. Had to help me carry the firewood, but also wanted to sit with the boys by the roadside. You go, because love is letting go even when your heart wants to hold on. Harder as you grew taller. I washed other women's clothes in cold streams, walked miles just to sell cassava, tightened my belt so you wouldn't sleep hungry. Medicine to pay for your books. I remember one night, you had a fever, shivering like leaf in storm, and I held you till morning, whispering prayers, tears falling into your hair. And the next day, you smiled like nothing happened. But forgot. Mothers don't forget the battles fought in silence. You older, smarter, your teachers praised you, said you were bright, polite, determined. You waving report cards like gold, and I held them like sacred scrolls. You told me, "Mama, I want to go to the city." And my heart cracked, but I smiled. I knew the village was too small for your dreams. I packed your bag with trembling hands, cooked your favorite yam porridge, and gave you a small envelope with the last money I had hidden under the mat. I want you to see me cry. So I watched you walk away while staring at the ground. That I slept holding your old shirt. You called in the beginning. You told me about tall buildings, noisy streets, bright lights that never go out. I wonder, trying to imagine a world I had never seen. You promised money when you could, and you did. You seemed to. But slowly, the calls became fewer. Your voice sounded rushed. You said, "Mama, I'm busy." I said, "Okay, my son." Because that's what mothers do, we swallow loneliness and call it understanding. I made your favorite soup. I tied my best wrapper, sat under the mango tree, eyes fixed on the dusty road, waiting. Neighbors and asked, "Is he coming today?" I'd nod, "Yes. My son will come." But the road remained empty. Seasons. My hair grew grayer. My hands, once strong, now trembled when I lifted the pot. They are without your footsteps, quieter without your questions. But still, one Harmattan morning, I woke with pain in my chest. Not sharp, heavy, like a stone had settled there. I didn't see one. Who would I tell? I boiled herbs, lay on the mat, listened to the wind pass through the cracks in the window. I held your photo close, the one where you had missing teeth and your eyes sparkled with mischief. I whispered. That night, I dreamed of you. You were 5 again, laughing, running toward me. I opened my arms. Then I woke, breathless, sweating. I knew my time was close. I reached under my pillow, took out the small tape recorder, and pressed record. My voice shook. My son, if you hear this, it means I am no longer in the world you walk. But no, they stopped waiting. Not for money, not for gifts, just for your voice, your presence, your hand in mine. I prayed for you every day, even on days I forgot to eat. Even when I could barely move. I placed the tape in my old wooden box along with your letters, your school drawings, the small stone you gave me when you said it was magic. That night I eyes and let the silence take me. They say you came to town, rushed home like a man chased by ghosts. You stood at my wept like a child. You entered my room, saw the box, pressed play, and heard my voice echo through the emptiness. And in that moment you felt what I carried all these years. Not regret, anger, just love, deep, unshakable, worldly love. Now, they say you sit under the mango tree. Like I did. You cook my soup using my old pot, wear my wrapper on your shoulders, and tell the wind you are sorry. You speak to my grey week. Bring flowers, letters. But I don't need those now. I needed your laughter when my bones ached. I needed your hands' fingers could no longer braid my hair. I needed your storylines became my only companion. But still, I forgive you. Because mothers do not love for reward. We love because we were built to. Even now, as dust, I love you. When the wind blows through the trees, it is me. When the rain taps your window gently at night, it is me. When you hear a lullaby back of your mind, that is me too. So, my child, live not in guilt, but in remembrance. Raise your own children with presence. Let my story teach you that success means nothing if your love is absent. And to all who listen, if your mother breathes, call her. Sit beside her, hear her stories, laugh at her old jokes. Because one day, that voice will fade, and you will be left with silence too loud to bear. A silence I know all too well.